Welcome to the All Outdoors Photography Podcast with your hosts, Rylan Meadows, Ryan Taylor, and Henry Doyle. In today's episode, we'll be talking about our favorite locations for photography as well as our dream locations for photography.
Hello and welcome back to the All Outdoors Photography Podcast with your hosts Henry Doyle, myself Ryan Taylor, and Rylan Meadows, where we discuss all things outdoor nature photography.
And I'd like to thank you guys for all the support you've been giving us on the podcast. We've gotten some great feedback, and we have had some audio problems, but we're trying to fix those as we go along. And it's a constantly evolving show. So thank you for the support, and make sure to tune in every Tuesday.
Yeah. What a way to plug our own audience. That was brilliant.
We're getting there, man. We're getting there. So what's today's episode about?
So, today we are going to be talking about our favorite locations near where we live and around us. And then after that, we're going to transition into our dream locations where we really want to be able to go one day and take photos.
So I think what we're going to do here is I'm going to be showing my favorite locations. I got about 5 or so here. I'm just going to kind of run through them, give some brief descriptions about, what they are and why they mean so much to me, really. And then we'll probably just go, in a kind of like a circle and just go through each person's. And then we'll go on and kind of just more discuss our dream locations, just more conversationally. So it's pretty much going to be what we're going to be doing for this episode here.
Yeah.
So for me to start, so I'm towards Dayton, Ohio, kind of the surrounding area. I'm in a city kind of next door to it. So basically we got lots of different habitats, at least for Ohio, nothing really mountainous, but we do have lots of great wetland habitats, different kinds of woodland, forest areas, prairie meadow, gorges. We even got like a rock quarry. So there's just a lot of variety. Really amazing places that have been my favorites over the couple of years I've been photographing at them. So one place that's really sentimental is called Creekside Reserve, and it's about, I'd say, give or take, about 5-minute drive. I've even walked and biked there even before I had a car to go photograph at. And it's kind of like a wet woods riparian habitat. So it has lots of transitional kind of wildlife like red foxes, coyote, tons and tons of deer. And then, of course, in the summer, you get different kinds of birds, or in spring migration, fall migration. So it's a really great spot. It's only about 1.5 miles, I think, of trail, so it's not too big, but it's situated right next in between like a highway and a bikeway, actually. So it's a pretty cool place. And then another place is actually pretty much where I got my start. I remember I went to the place in high school for photography class to do some landscapes on film camera, which is pretty cool because I haven't shot film in years. But it's a place called Siebenthaler Fen, and that is a very nice, high-quality wetland all times of year. I love going there just for a quick little hour to kind of photo op. You see lots of dragonflies, damselflies. You get toads. They even spotted river otters there, which is pretty neat.
Wow.
It's something you don't really see often. I swore I saw it the other day, but
I didn't even know they were in that part of this United States. I didn't know.
I didn't either.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a giant, I forget how many, I think it's 14-mile creek that runs right through kind of like my area. And
Is it
that
Beaver
place,
Creek?
yeah, yep.
Yep.
So
Mhm.
yeah, that's where I'm located.
My
But,
grandparents have a property on Beaver Creek, so I've spent a lot of time in there.
oh, cool,
Mhm.
cool. Yeah, it's cool. I haven't seen the otters. There's videos of it online. About 3 years ago, someone saw it, but I haven't. I've only seen mink and muskrats, and
Mhm.
there's a beaver that hangs out, or beaver or two that hang out, and they make dams there. But it's a very
Makes
cool wet.
sense.
Mhm.
Yeah, I know. Who would have thought, right? Yeah. So,
Kentucky's boring
uh,
compared to that. I mean,
wait,
Okay.
you got
Okay.
mountains. You got the Red River Gorge.
not
and-
where I live. I've
oh,
got
okay.
buildings.
You're in the boring part of Kentucky, the urban sprawl.
Yeah.
So
I got the exciting part.
that fen is a very, very nice place. It's only about a mile long boardwalk. It's all boardwalk pretty much. But like I said, it takes you right along this creek, and it's just a beautiful place all times of year for birding. Tons. I've even done some landscapes more recently. It's not really a landscape-ish place, but sunsets there are just like drop dead gorgeous. So it's a great place, and it means a lot to me just because it's kind of like where I got my start. It's just so close to home, and it's such a great place to be close to home too.
What actually is a fin? I've never heard that term before.
Let me look up the term, make sure I get it right. I think it's fens flush and bogs drain. I
Oh,
think.
okay.
Yeah, let me make sure I get that right. Sorry, this one's really unscripted, but yeah, basically a fan. I think it retains water
Oh,
all
okay.
year. It keeps a consistent temperature. I believe it. Once again, disclaimer: I'm not a certified naturalist. I just know some things. I think it's like 70 degrees all year, the water quality. But it's just a very high quality place. I guess you could call it a swamp. It's kind of swamp like
So
a little
even in
bit.
the winter, the water's 70 degrees.
I think it is.
Oh, okay.
Well, it's like
I'm gonna go there in the winter. Count me
don't
in.
fact check me. No, but it does have this rare, not so much rare, but it isn't a kind of quality plant. It's called skunk cabbage that grows there early March. It's like it's pretty much the first spring flower. It's like a flowering plant, and it actually heats up enough to, if it's still like snow on the ground there, it'll heat up and kind of melt the snow around it. It's pretty neat. And it's, if you ever look up a picture of it, I took a few photos of it there and elsewhere, other wetlands, and it's like it looks just very otherworldly. It's like this purple
Mhm.
kind of. It just looks. It looks cool. It's a cool little plant to like learn about and stuff. Um, but moving on now, I'm a big fan of gorge habitats. More recently, I've done tons of long exposures of flowing water throughout, and there's quite a few really nice quality ones around me. One in particular is in Cedarville, Ohio. It's called Indian Mound Reserve, and this has, as the name suggests, it has a old Indian mound called the Williamson Mound from like the Adinas Indians, Native Americans, if you know your history. So it's a really cool spot that you could pretty much see for miles at the very peak of it. It's not too big of a, like a stairway up to it, but it's just such a beautiful view of just the horizon and everything. And that place has also some earthworks called the Pollock Works. Very, very cool. Taking a lot of shots within those. You can kind of like walk through them, these like corridor-like structures. They're pretty neat. And then, of course, the water. There's a creek called Mossy Creek that goes right through it. That has just some beautiful displays of water, some different kind of cascading waterfalls, both big and small. And yeah, overall, it's not really that big of a park, but it just feels like massive and grand. There's just so much in there, photographic potential, birds, landscapes, you name it. And then I got a few others here, two more. I'll run through real quick. Oaks Quarry, that is, it's in Fairborn, Ohio, and it's a rock quarry in an old coral reef. And so it feels really un-Ohio like, because it's just like it looks very dry and desolate, almost like a desert.
Mhm.
But it has these nice kind of like pools of water that are pretty much like miniature lakes. So you get different kinds of shorebirds and beautiful just sunsets there. I've gotten so many of them. Last summer I got some beautiful ones of it's just a beautiful place to see the light pretty much. And just it's a neat place to really experiment with your landscape photography. And then another place, this is probably more historic, and some of you may know it, viewers or you guys, Huffman Prairie, the flying field, famously known historically where the Wright brothers took their first flight. Yeah, so I live pretty close to that, and it's a beautiful, gorgeous display, especially here in midsummer for different kinds of wildflowers. It's just a gorgeous display of different blooms.
I think I saw. Did you make a video about that? I think.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, that was a good
Yeah.
video.
Oh, thank you.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's a quick little video slideshow.
Yeah.
I've been going
Link
there.
it down below in the description if you're on
Yeah.
YouTube.
Under the
It's a
show
nice-
notes section, just so you know.
Yeah,
So.
it's a nice little immersive video. I don't speak or anything. It's just some nice close-ups and kind of wide-angle perspectives of the different flowers you can see there. The more common the ones you can see during summer there. But that's a gorgeous place all times of year for that. Not really flowers in winter, but you get tons of birds just throughout the year. It's always something new to see there. And so it's kind of like, it's become one of my favorite places because it's just nice and peaceful next to Patterson Air Force Base. But not many people go there. So it's just like a nice, quiet place
You'd
where you
think
can just.
more would go. I mean, it's a pretty famous
Yeah.
place.
It's also just wide open and spacious too. So I feel like it's just, it's not, crowded really. So you can kind of space yourself out. But yeah, I've been going there like once a week because it's just such a nice place to go to.
Cool.
So that's pretty much all I got. I mean, I could talk endlessly about all these places, but I don't want to, waffle on too much here. So.
All right. Rylan, do you want to go or I can go?
I will be honored to go last.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
So I really don't go to that many locations just because right now, I'm in actually 2 weeks I'm gonna get my full license, but right now I still need an adult in the car.
Yay! Go Henry!
But
Dude, that opens up everything.
yeah,
to you
I know.
now.
Yep. The photographs are gonna go from 10 to 100 after that. So, so basically, I live in Louisville, which is an urban area, but it has a big history of like parks and stuff. I don't know if you know who Olmsted is. He like designed like all these famous gardens, like the Biltmore and stuff, and all those places. And he really did a lot with Louisville. And right near my house, like you just ride down the hill. So I ride my bike all the time. There's this huge park called Cherokee Park. I'd say it's probably as big as a small town. Like, and I'm not kidding when I say that. Like it's got these great
Dang.
cliffs. It's got waterfalls. It's got forests. It's amazing. So there's a couple different places I go inside of that park. The number one is probably the most famous, and if you visit Louisville, you probably went. Maybe it's called Big Rock. It's just this giant rock that people like to climb on. That's not why I go, but there's great waterfalls there, and there's a lot of caves that actually empty out right there. So I go there quite a bit, and that's right near my house, which is convenient. Also, there's a really cool bird sanctuary. It doesn't actually have a name. It just says bird sanctuary, but you basically just go off trail, and then there's these huge it's like a forest in the middle of an urban area. It's surrounded by neighborhoods, but it's this massive forest. There's all these birds. There's like multiple families of deer that live there. It's just great, and nobody ever goes back there. I'm literally always the only person back there. It's not very well groomed. You have to like wade through the grasses, I guess, but it's really worth it. So if you're ever in Louisville, look for the bird sanctuary in Cherokee Park.
I will definitely check that out if I'm
Yes.
ever down there
Mhm.
again. That sounds really exciting.
And then also there's a lot of waterfalls, like I said. Most of them, I've mentioned this in a previous episode, but most of them are straight from the sewers, unfortunately. But they still look good because they empty out onto rocks. Well, it's not really sewers, but it's like the overflow of sewers goes into there. So it's not like they're directly emptying that stuff, but you do see toilet paper and that stuff sometimes. That is
Yeah.
one negative. But they're beautiful waterfalls.
Just
and-
taking a long exposure and
Yeah.
it's just a piece of toilet paper.
What's this white line going right across my composition?
And there's all these old buildings that have these really old pipes that empty water into these beautiful cliffs, and it just creates some great scenes. And you can see a lot of those waterfalls on my Instagram. Not to plug, but odds are if you see a waterfall,
It's our
that's
podcast.
on the yeah, that's on my Instagram. Also, this sounds weird too, but I do a lot of golf course photography. There's a lot of good like landscapes on golf courses, and
There is.
and
There is.
you know when you can't drive, you like to go in areas near you, and I literally live like around the golf course, so that's pretty nice. There's this really nice creek that you kind of have to walk across an entire golf course to get to, but it's really nice, and some really great waterfalls there as well. But soon I'm going to be going to a lot more locations. Just to be quick here, a couple other cool locations that I can't necessarily bike to. Bernheim Forest, that's great. It's just this huge wilderness area. It's great. They have giant troll statues made out of wood, which is cool. Attracts
Not creepy at
attracts a
all.
lot of people, but
That's different.
It
Yeah.
attracts the muggers that try to
Uh-huh.
get
Yeah.
They are the trolls.
Downtown. I don't do a lot of street photography, but like downtown Louisville, and like the Big Four Bridge and stuff, that has some great shots.
I was curious if you've ever tried to do any street photography.
Not really, 'cause I don't really like people too much. I'm just gonna be honest. Yeah.
Good answer.
yeah.
I'm not. I agree. I mean,
The Falls of
That's
the
up to-
Ohio across the river are cool as well. And that's pretty much it. Louisville's pretty good for photography.
sounds like it.
You know, I'm envious of where Ryland lives in Kentucky specifically, but you know, it's nice to live in an urban area sometimes. So
That's pretty neat. So you basically have been biking to your locations up until
yes, so I carry basically a 10-pound camera bag on my bike.
now?
And I go
Dude.
down a hill and up a hill.
Oh,
That is dedication
yeah.
right there.
no, dude. That seriously, like a few
Mm.
years ago, that's how I got my start. Like I
Yep.
said, anywhere I could
Mm.
physically bike to that wasn't like like a busy road or whatever, I would just go.
But
you know, and that's
literally 2 weeks from now, that'll be all gone. So, and I always bike winter, summer, fall, all the seasons.
yeah, that's awesome.
I mean, I have no
No.
other way, so it's either
Yeah.
that or walk, and yeah, I choose bikes. So
No, you and me both. I
Mhm.
mean, that's just how I got my start. But yeah, definitely when you get your car and license, it's
Mhm.
like it just places that you think were dreams are just like you go there and you're
Yeah.
like, there's so much
Uh-huh.
to see now.
and
Out
one
in the
more
wide
thing,
open world.
to add. I do go to Ohio a little bit. I'd say a couple times a year, and like I said, my grandparents live on Beaver Creek, and that's really fun to photograph too. I like Clifton Gorge. That's pretty awesome.
Love that place.
Those kind of places. So, and I have been to Natural Bridge as well, but I wasn't a photographer then. So, yeah.
We'll call it pre-scouting.
Yeah, very pre-scouting.
It was simpler times then.
Yes.
You weren't bogged down by
Well,
the
maybe I
camera.
was a photographer. I had a little point and shoot, a little Nikon point and shoot.
Aw.
It's actually behind me right now. But yeah, I could
I
show it
remember
if you want.
Sure. Yeah, where are you getting it? I remember in 6th grade. I had
I'm
a
gonna
disposable.
show the podcast audience first, real quick. Here it is.
My parents have one of those Nikon Coolpix.
Yep.
Ah.
Yep. They have
12
one. It's like
12
a red
12
one.
megapixels. It
Ooh.
was a decent camera, actually. It wasn't horrible. I
12
mean,
megapixels isn't
How f-
bad.
that's
how
what a
far is the-
smartphone has. So
Nowadays, yeah. How the digital zoom on it? How much?
7x zoom.
It's not bad.
Wow, that ain't bad for
37
12
millimeters,
megapixels.
260 millimeters.
Not bad.
Probably doesn't shoot raw.
That goes longer than my
I'd say no.
lens right now. So
That's fair. Yeah.
I need to use that
Yep.
for my wildlife.
That's pretty neat, man.
Mm.
Yeah, I think point shoots are cool. They're kind of like a dying breed,
Yep.
but they still kind of have their place a little bit. They can, for certain people.
Mhm.
I remember in 6th grade, not to get on a tangent here real quick, but in 6th grade I went to like a zoo or whatever for a field trip, and my parents gave me like a disposable film camera.
Yeah.
So I think that's part of why I went with like the wildlife thing, because I was like, I never developed any of the role. Unfortunately, it just like kind of wasted itself inside the camera for years afterwards. But yeah, it was just fun taking pictures of all the zoo animals. Not that
Yeah.
it was probably any good photos or whatever, but
Mm.
yeah, So
You know,
it's pretty
something I've caught on that's kind of interesting with this story is like Henry is right in the middle of us both. So like he can
Yeah.
kind of relate to your locations and my locations.
Yeah.
So,
He's the
like,
bridge
he
between
knows
us.
places up in Ohio, and like he knows places farther down in Kentucky where I'm from. So
Mm.
Henry's ahead of the
Mm.
game.
Oh shoot, I forgot to mention Michigan too. I go up there all the time as well.
Oh, dude, he's got it. The ground's covered in
Yeah.
between.
Can I just
Oh.
go briefly, real quick? Just,
You can go as long as
Alright.
you want.
so I go to Glen Arbor, Michigan, which is near Traverse City. And if you've ever seen photos of the gigantic sand dunes and like the ocean blue lakes, I go there. It's really fun.
I've heard of it.
And there's just some great shots. I've never really, this is the first year I've really photographed it, because I usually just relax when I go up there, because my grandparents have a house up there as well, so we just kind of stay there and chill out. But this year I've really did a lot of photography and got some amazing shots. You can get some great sunsets there, world-class sunsets, I would say. There's some
Ooh.
great woodland shots too. But yeah, I just wanted to mention that briefly.
Okay, so like woodland photography is something that I've always wanted to try, but like it's just I feel like it's really, difficult. Like it's so hard to find the composition and
Yeah, feel like give it a couple months here, and like maybe in autumn, like when
Oh,
it's
yeah.
peak foliage, you just get like much more vibrant colors. Because like in the summer, and I've said this before in my videos, it's like the green foliage just gets way too samey, and like
Mhm.
it makes everything just kind of feel stale if you don't know how to like really kind of work with it or whatever. But yeah, I definitely agree. It's one of those things you just have to be for the right time of day and the right lighting to really make work. But
Yeah.
it's challenging. I do agree.
Yeah, I mean it's probably the hardest type of photography, at least in the kind of nature genre. It's just like even if you find a good tree, you have to have the right light, the right, right lens and everything. It's just really hard. And what I
And,
struggle with is the low light. Like when there's
Hmm.
usually a lot of wind in the forest, like even if it's not really windy, all those leaves are blowing and you want to be able to do a long shutter speed, but then everything's blurry and
yeah.
just that whole
Yes.
cycle. So
It has to be almost a still day, and plus
Mhm.
like it gets darker in woodland, especially if it's like shaded with the canopy. So like
Yeah.
it could be a half an hour before you, it's like pitch black in there, and it's like good luck taking anything really substantial.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
I feel like a lake is much easier because you get a wider view and you can see the
Yeah.
sun for like a long time after sunset or whatever, or
Mhm.
sunrise. But it's woodlands. Just you have to work it. I don't know, just keep
Yeah.
trying it honestly. So it's something I put off for a while, but then it's like now I'm kind of enjoying it more once you learn
Mhm.
how the light interplays with the shadows and
yeah.
um,
Even like a slight bit of like catch light that's on a tree, you can really accentuate that. If you turn down the background and everything, you can really make a nice image with that. Like just look
Mhm.
for the tiny spots of light, like blanketing a tree. That's what I do usually.
Yeah, I guess it also depends on what you're saying about focal length and lens choice.
Mhm.
It really just depends on like what you're going for. Like if you
Yeah.
want to do a wide angle scene, it's gonna be much harder, especially
Mhm.
if it's like midday light, because that's just unflattering, right?
Yeah.
But if you're going for more like an intimate landscape and you want to zoom in close on like a leaf on the ground or just I don't
Mhm.
know, a bird, a tree
Yeah.
stump, something, it's a little more different. You can kind of be more forgiving, I think, light permitting and all that.
Yeah. I find that telephoto is usually good for woodland, in my opinion. Just kind of focusing in on a tree and compressing everything.
Yeah, a small telephoto, like
Yeah.
70 to 300 or something
Mhm.
around that range.
Yep.
Back to what you were saying though about Michigan. You said Lake. Do you go to Lake Erie at all?
Lake
Anywhere around there?
Michigan mostly.
Just Lake Michigan.
Mhm.
Okay, that's cool too.
I've been to
Yeah,
Lake Erie though. It's cool.
this is cool. There's a lot of
Mhm.
bird life up there, especially during migratory time.
Yeah.
So it's a cool spot. I really want to go to. That's actually one of my kind of like dream locations. Really, is to go up north to that.
Another cool thing about Michigan, real quick, is there's a lot of eagles, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I still need to get a longer lens. Like it sounds like I'm complaining a lot, but 200 millimeters is not enough on a full frame camera. I'm just gonna say
Yeah.
it. It's hard, but yeah. So Rylan, what are your locations?
Okay, so my main like location that I love to go to is Natural Bridge State Park, which I feel like you all seen that coming.
Mm.
I live very close to the Red River Gorge and in that area, and Natural Bridge State Park is just incredible, especially during the fall. All of the trees turn different colors like around the bridge, and it just looks very, very outstanding, and just it's a beautiful place. Of course, Natural Bridge isn't my only location though. With the Red River Gorge, there's like hundreds of different trails, and I'll talk about two more of my favorite ones. Copperas Falls. I recently did that. It's about a 4 mile hike, and if you're ever going to the Red River Gorge area, you have to research it like online very closely because
Mhm.
it's an unmarked trail, which means like there's no signs or anything. It's just like you pull off the road and there's a trail and it goes on for 4 miles and it takes you to
Hmm.
the most stunning waterfall, like just in the middle of the forest, and there's nothing around it. It's becoming more popular, so there may or may not be people. When I went, we ran into a couple of people. Not a whole lot. It's not like overcrowded or anything like Natural Bridge State Park, but it's a really pretty waterfall. My third location is Creation Falls and Rock Bridge Trail. It's a very unique trail for a couple of reasons. Very much like Natural Bridge State Park, there's also a natural bridge on this trail, which is in the Red River Gorge, which is like the same area that the natural bridge is in. It's not as big, but it's still a really decent size. I think if it was in the fall, you could probably get on top of it. That would probably be kind of difficult in the summer with all the undergrowth and stuff. And Creation Falls, just kind of like a waterfall about the height of the average person that you
Oh.
can photograph and stuff. And there's like a creek that runs all the way down through there. So you just follow the creek the entire trail. Very pretty.
Yeah, that place is Natural Bridge is stunning. It doesn't seem like it fits in with Kentucky.
It is.
It's like
I'm
amazing.
looking at
Beautiful
some
place.
pictures of it. Yeah, it's like looks spectacular. Wow. I need to get out more.
So are you
Like,
like less than an hour away? Or are you like really close?
I'm less than an hour. I'm about 30 minutes away.
Nice.
So.
So some other cool locations in Kentucky, Clifty Falls. I don't know if you've been there, Rylan or Ryan.
I actually haven't ever heard of it.
I
Clifty?
actually I think it's in Indiana, but it's right across the river. It's great. It's
state
like
park.
yeah, it's a state park. It's really weird because like you drive on a highway, and then once you get to the exit for the Clifty Falls, you literally have to drive like an hour to get out there. But once you get out
Wow.
there, there's like a lodge, and then like
Wow.
these huge steps, and then there's beautiful waterfalls. I've only been there once. It's pretty cool. Once again, I was not a photographer when I went there, so
It must have inspired you though to take it up.
all on my
photography.
bucket list. Also Cumberland Falls are pretty cool. That's pretty famous in
I
Kentucky.
have been there.
Yes, I have as well. It's awesome. And
I mean, I've never seen a waterfall like there.
yeah,
Like I went to Hawaii. That was before I was a photographer or
Uh-huh.
anything too. So I don't have any photos of
yeah,
that. But I mean, they have a ton of waterfalls. I truly think Cumberland is at least equal with a lot of what's down there. It's that
Yeah.
stunning.
I might try to head down there in the fall. Maybe there'll be some good shots then.
I feel like fall would be a good time because in the
Yeah.
summer, like big waterfalls like that can dry up or just get not really as powerful as they could be, like during spring.
I was there in spring the last time I went, and it was falling really well then.
Mhm.
I have a lot of extra time because I have a mix of online and hybrid school model, so I have some extra free time this year, so should be able to head down there. Here's just another question for you guys about locations. So say
Mhm.
a couple years down the road, this is like really theoretical, but like a couple years down the road, you want to move somewhere. Would you move somewhere just for photography locations? Because for me,
Ooh.
I know I would. Like the colleges I'm looking at, they're specifically tailored around photography locations.
I was
I'm
gonna,
just
I was
say it.
about to,
Yeah.
I was about to ask if you're gonna center around that.
hmm
Huh.
I don't know. I I don't want to say that I wouldn't, but I
Mhm.
don't really want to say that I would, because I feel like a huge part of what I plan to do is photography.
Yeah.
So obviously that it would be important, especially if I get more into the portraiture industry. It would be very important to, have a good outdoor location, because I'm all outdoors. I don't do any studio work. I I I I feel like I'm gonna say yes. I'm gonna
Uh-huh.
say yes. I feel like I would move to somewhere for photography. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah. Go ahead, Ryan.
oh, I was gonna say, like, I feel like you're saying good locations to take the images at, but also just like make it like maybe like a metropolitan area and somewhere where you get like a
Yeah.
good population and a good place that has
Yeah.
like an audience, I guess, to clients and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's definitely
that makes
important.
total sense. So yeah, it's something I thought about. I don't know. I'm so I don't want to say complacent. I'm just so comfortable, kind of like where I'm at, and I feel like I've scratched the surface of my state. Really, I haven't like really gone out too far. Maybe like an hour's drive most for photography. So it's like, yeah, I definitely like to explore the state some more. And then kind of like what Ron was saying, I wouldn't keep it out of the question to really branch out and go to another state or even another country for that matter. So I don't know. It's just you never know where
Yeah.
kind of like life takes you. So, but for now, I'm like I kind of like where I'm at and just the amount of places I've been able to discover and all that.
I've really fallen in love with Flagstaff, Arizona. I don't know if you've heard of it, but it's really close to the Grand
Yes.
Canyon, but it's
Uh,
not really a desert. It's kind of like a forest environment, but you're really close to the desert. So it's like a good variety of areas. It's got amazing mountains, amazing skiing, which is important for me. I really like to ski. Um, it's not so warm, which I like. I don't like 100-degree temperatures every day. So I've been specifically looking at that area. And I'm just to be honest, mostly looking at colleges there just for that reason. So
I feel like it's a common misconception that everywhere like out west is just like so unbearably hot.
Mhm.
Because like when they tell it, it's like it's 130 degrees outside or whatever. But like it doesn't feel like 130 degrees. It feels like
It's the
maybe
humidity
80
that
or
really matters.
90 degrees. Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
Exactly. Because the humidity is just so low, you would never think that it was 120 degrees,
And you get so much light in those areas in the mornings and nights. Like even if
Yeah.
even if it is hot during the
Very
day, you
free.
can do a lot in the mornings. Like when I went to Arizona, we went in the summer, so it was 120, almost 130 during the day. So we literally did everything in the mornings and nights, and we just relaxed by the pool the rest of the day. So
It's probably a little more cooler
Yeah.
during the morning, evening.
Uh-huh.
I'd hope a little bit
yeah,
more
a
at
lot
least.
cooler.
I was
Yeah,
there
that's
last summer, probably around this time, and it was unbearably hot
Yeah.
during the day. And this isn't in Arizona, but we kind of did like all through the western U.S. Like did a tour out through there, and we went to the big. I can't think of what it's called. The dam place in Nevada.
The Hoover Dam.
Hoover
Yeah.
Dam.
Yeah. We went to the Hoover Dam in like the middle of the day, and oh my gosh, it was so hot. It was like 120 some degrees outside, and like which isn't that bad if you're just like kind of outside,
You're out in the open
not doing
too.
anything. But like when there's like a bunch of concrete just like
Oh yeah.
below you, oh my god,
Yeah,
it was it was bad.
yeah. Forget that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, plus you're out in the open too, and it just doesn't help at all.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Well, I
thanks.
feel like we should transition into our dream
Yes.
locations.
So just for a
Ooh.
little clarification, we're talking about like locations that right now are kind of unobtainable. Like you could see yourself possibly going there, but like this is like really your dream location.
Or- It doesn't have to be big. It could just
Yeah.
be places you just haven't gone to
Uh-huh.
simply for whatever reason.
Yeah.
So you said right.
Me and Henry are looking at each other like, ours so big.
Yeah.
Well, I'm pretty lame because I tried to be more down to earth, and I chose places that are in my state because, like I was just saying, a second ago, it's like I want to kind of explore, outside of my region of the
Mhm.
state. But anyways, so I just chose a couple of places, probably some more popular ones, some of the biggest places, at least in Ohio. So you got Hocking Hills State Park. I haven't been there somehow. Everyone tells me about it all the time, but I just never have. I want to get because the problem is like a place that massive and photographed to death because it's just such a popular place for us kind of people is that I just feel like it'd be so hard to make something original,
Yeah.
compositionally.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's just such a big place that if I went, I'd want to set aside like a weekend or even like a whole week, you know what I mean? And just set out to do that. Because if I just went for 1 or 2 days, I just wouldn't do it service. I don't know. I'd want to see everything and take my time to really digest what I'm looking at and all that. But it's a cool place. Definitely a lot to see there, at least from what I've seen in photographs. But I'll definitely go, hopefully in the next year or two, I hope. But Cuyahoga National Park, that's a place I've seen tons of photographs of as well. They have Brandywine Falls. That's a really popular, massive waterfall there. That'd be a cool place. Other than that, Shawnee State Forest. That's kind of down in the more southeastern, kind of more hilly portion of Ohio that has much more mature forest and woodland. Same with Wayne National Forest. It's kind of down south there, kind of near the border of Kentucky. It's it's off to the right of it. It's kind of near the border of Kentucky.
Yeah.
So yeah, but those are really popular. You have some massive backpacking trails and hiking trails there. Lots of hills. So it's really a challenge. I couldn't imagine carrying all my camera gear. It must be pretty intense. But those would be cool trips maybe to do if I camp out, let's say there for a few days or a weekend, like I said. And then likewise, or the opposite would be up north, McGee Marsh, which is up towards Lake Erie and Oak Harbor, Ohio. So that'd be good kind of in the middle of May when you get spring migration. That'd be cool for some warbler species. It's like people from around the world flock to that place. No pun intended, to go photograph the warblers and all the different migrants there because it's just such a cool place. But other than that, if you're talking outside the country, I don't know. Iceland, Patagonia.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Stealing all my items.
Now
here.
we're talking.
I know. Yeah, the place is like. Other than that, like I said, I'm just trying to be more inclusive to my state. So you can dream big, but still.
All right. So for mine, there's a couple in the U.S., couple outside. For the ones in the U.S., I've seen a couple Nick Page videos about this. He made these videos really long ago, I believe, pretty much when he started his channel. Olympic National Park. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's in Washington, and it's got like 3 areas in one, like in the national park, all different kinds of like biomes, you could say. You've got like amazing mountains, kind of like mountains you'd see in Colorado or something. And then the really cool part about it is there's these forests that look like rainforests. They're covered in this moss, and it's just really inspiring. Talk about woodland photography. That's a great place to do that. And then also there you've got like a traditional Pacific coast with the nice sea stacks. I just love to go there. And Nick Page does like yearly photography workshops there, so I might end up doing one of those someday down the road. It's really cool. And like I could spend weeks there. It's amazing. And you can photograph orcas, all kinds of things. It's great. So make sure you guys look that up if you're interested. I'm plugging national parks now, but yeah.
U.S. National Park Service.
Yeah.
Represent.
Just call us. You can sponsor.
I've actually thought about going into like forestry or something for a degree and doing something in a national park. I'd really love to do that. Be a dream job for me.
That would be neat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Another U.S. based is I've seen this a lot of Ben Horn videos. You probably already know what I'm going to say, but it's
Zion.
Zion.
Yeah.
The washes of Zion with the maple trees and the the sandstone, and just
Narrows.
I would fall in love with that place. I mean, it's great. And I've watched so many Ben Horn videos, hours a day at sometimes. When I get into like Ben Horn, I like watch it like all day, every day for about a week.
You have a Ben Horn
Uh,
binge.
I think I've watched all of his videos. Not kidding. Probably have.
He's a
And
lot too.
it's great. Like, this is kind of cliche, but I don't even want to shoot the big rocks in Zion and all the big sites. I just want to shoot those nice washes that look amazing. Because me, at least, I'm a really fast-paced photographer, and I'm trying to work on being slower. Like, I go in and take multiple shots. I really want to focus on individual shots instead of just always
Me
running
too.
around.
It's neat how he does that. Like
Yeah.
he goes to that kind of place.
He has
and
so
you
much
expect-
discipline. It's insane.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
disciplined. That's a good word to
Mm.
put it. Yeah, he's just so restrained, but like it's so creatively rewarding because he just finds these little. He goes to Zion. He doesn't shoot the big stuff. He finds
Yeah.
a leaf on the ground.
Mm.
Like, he's
But I
just,
feel like even if he
so good.
did shoot the big stuff, he would still take his time and really focus on it. You know what I mean? Like, his
Yeah.
total style is just kind of really inspiring.
Yeah. Or just like
Um,
dried mud landscapes there
yeah.
or elsewhere. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Or cracked mud. But anyways.
Yeah. One more U.S. based location would probably be the Everglades. I think I mentioned this photographer before, but I follow this guy called Clyde Butcher who's been photographing down there for many years on black and white film. And it's just really cool. Like, you can rent guides that will literally take you through the Everglades on a boat, specifically for photography. I'd really love to do that because it's got a lot of untapped areas with beautiful trees, beautiful water, and it just seems to be really cool. And if you don't know, the Everglades is pretty much, I think, the largest swamp in the United States, maybe even in the world. I'm not sure, but it's really cool.
It's definitely, I think, the U.S., but
Yeah.
one of the largest in the
Uh-huh.
world too. Yeah,
Yep.
that'd
And
be cool.
then
That'd be a
for
great spot.
a couple international locations, you've got the Iceland, the Patagonia. We all know, that's great.
Yeah.
Namibia is really cool.
Yeah.
It's, I hate to be stereotypical or something, but Africa is a little bit dangerous right now. And I think
Yeah.
Namibia is one of the safer countries right now in Africa to go to if you want to shoot that kind of stuff. You can shoot lions and all those kind of things there. And you also got some great sand dune landscapes. I believe Thomas Heaton made a bunch of videos about Namibia back in the day, a couple of years ago.
A couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember those.
So, yeah, I really want to go there. So, and that's pretty much it for me.
Just to bounce off, the Redwoods. I just thought of it. Sorry,
Oh,
but
yeah.
the Redwoods is that a national park, I believe.
My
Yeah. I
think
uncle's
it's-
moving out to San Francisco actually next week, so I'll
wow.
be able to go out there quite a bit. So,
Ooh,
yeah.
I think Ben Horn
exciting.
also made videos about that place, and that is just spectacular.
I
His
think
trees. are just
He was
look up.
planning a trip again this year, I think, and it got canceled because of coronavirus. So,
No.
yeah.
Yeah, this might be my favorite videos by him. Honestly, he just that whole place is cool. I'd love to go there. I just thought of it.
And one more note for me, I was pretty excited this year. I was gonna go to on a cruise to like Santorini, Greece, which is really cool. Pompeii,
Wow.
Sicily. I was really excited for that. It'd be my first time in Europe. That got canceled, of course. We got our money back and stuff, but that would have been cool as well. So I'd like to get there eventually.
Yeah, I think you will soon.
Mhm.
I hope so. 'Cause that'd be wicked, man.
Yeah.
Across the water there.
Uh,
Yeah. Well, what other places? What do you got, Rylan?
Really, a lot of mine are international, which sounds kind of, selfish because USA, don't get me wrong, I'm totally all USA, but the main
We all are.
spot.
well, I don't know
The
about me,
main
but I don't want to get into that. This is not a political podcast, but
Oh, God. The-
Photography, politics.
the main location that I really want to go to is Yellowstone.
oh
not
yeah,
to be stereotypical, but that I am dying to go to
Mhm.
Yellowstone
You can't go
for
wrong with
wildlife
it.
photography. And we were actually gonna plan a trip. Me and my family were gonna plan a trip to Yellowstone this year, but before we got to plan it, coronavirus
Yep.
showed up, and so
it's the
it's not gonna
classic
happen.
story.
Yeah, I feel like that's everyone's story. Just that's what everyone's hearing now. Obviously, of course, I also really want to go to Iceland. I feel like every photographer wants to go to
Mhm.
Iceland. You can't really get anything like necessarily unique to you when you go But I mean, it's just I think everyone wants to experience that.
Yep.
Something else that I've watched a lot of videos of Thomas Heaton, other landscape photographers at the Lake District. I don't know if
Yep.
you've ever seen that.
Oh yeah. I didn't even think about that.
There's
So-
so many photographers that like make
There
videos
are.
in the Lake District. It's crazy.
I think Nigel Danson's been there.
Yeah.
Baxter. There's a
Oh, yeah.
bunch of different ones that have been down in there.
First Man Photography. He's been there.
Yeah.
Oh, I love First Man Photography. So good.
Yeah. Adam's good.
Yeah.
Somewhere else that isn't necessarily. This is just kind of a place where I've always wanted to go. Australia.
Mm.
Like I've never really seen any
Mm.
photography of Australia, with the exception of wildlife. I've seen like wildlife
Yeah.
photos of stuff, like kangaroos and the basic Australian wildlife, but like I've never seen any landscapes. So I feel like that would be kind of unique and just something to get to experience in Australia. I don't know what there is.
Yeah.
but
When I
It's
think
so-
about it,
always
I
been
can't really
somewhere I
think of
wanna go.
anything.
You're kind of
And,
right.
like,
I
which
feel like
is
I've
their
only
fun,
seen
so.
wildlife.
I think there could be some great
Yeah.
drone shots there with like the coral reefs and stuff, but I've never really
True.
seen any from the ground landscapes.
Haven't
Yeah.
either. That's
Plus,
something
it's
I'll.
such a
kinda-
different spot in the globe
Uh-huh.
too. You know what I mean? So I feel like it's
Yeah.
just destined to have something potentially there to like.
And even without
Photograph landscape.
landscapes, there's some great animals there. Platypus. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever the plural of that is.
Platypi?
Platypi.
Platypuses, I think.
I
think.
Kangaroos, all those kind of
Don't
things.
quote me on it.
Yeah, wallabies. Yeah, that'd be cool. Great white sharks, even.
That's true.
I don't know how
Huh.
you'd really capture that, but
I'm also sorry, I keep thinking of all these now and I'm like thinking about it more, but Joshua Tree National Park,
Oh,
I feel like
yeah.
it'd be a really cool place.
I mean, there's so many.
They're just
are a
yeah.
lot.
We can list them for days. It's
Mhm.
just there's so much that's like I don't know. I enjoy where I'm at, like my kind of
Mm.
slice of the globe or whatever where I'm at. So there's so much to see here. So I'm just very fortunate to have places around me that aren't
Yeah.
too far away. So at the end of the day, at least. But
Mm.
well,
Well, for me at least, like, I love my local area, but sometimes I wish I was in the west part of the United States because I don't know if it's just me, but I feel like they've got it a little bit better there. I have
Yeah.
heard, however, that the
Mm.
lighting is not the best. Like, it's always sunny there, which for most people that's great,
Yeah.
but for us it's not so great. But there's some great sites there in the west. Like anywhere you go, any of those states, pretty much, there's great stuff.
Which I mean, like I mentioned, I did that tour out west
Mhm.
last year, and it like went through Texas, Colorado, Arizona, Nevada. Didn't get to California. I think Nevada was like as far as we went, and then we went back like through New Mexico, and it's really beautiful out there, and it's got like a bunch of I don't want to say desert land, but
Mhm.
like just kind
Drier.
of plain,
Did you go to the
flat,
Valley of Fire
sandy.
in Las
Yes.
Vegas? Yeah, that's pretty.
Oh my gosh, it was beautiful. And then there was like I think Red Rock State Park or
Mhm.
something like that. I don't know. I think that was in Arizona.
Yeah.
It's really beautiful out in there, and
The Grand
I-
Canyon, of course. That's amazing.
yeah, of course. I didn't
Yeah.
even say that. I mean,
Uh-huh.
can't go
that's
wrong
just
with
kinda
that.
like everyone knows the Grand Canyon.
I mean,
And
but
there's
when you think about this side of the country, like, I don't want to sound like ungrateful, but like, there's no like locations that stick out to me. It's kind of sad, but like, I can't really think
and-
of any like grand scenes. Like, there's great stuff here, but
And my
It's-
deal is, I feel like a lot of the part is because we've always lived here. I feel like if
yeah.
if we
Mhm.
lived by the Grand Canyon and the Grand Canyon was all we had to see, we'd be like, oh, I wish we lived on the East Coast. They really got it made down there.
Well, that's
someone from,
that's
someone
kind of
from
hard
the
to
west.
imagine, but
There's probably like down there they have the all indoors photography podcast. And they're like the opposite of us. Wishing
Don't give
that-
ideas. I feel like if someone from the west came over to like the Midwest here, they'd be like, "That creek looks so cool," and I'd be like, "Yeah,
Yeah.
they're like everywhere." But then like you have like the Grand Canyon,
Mhm.
Arches National Park,
that
like,
sewer
all these places-
waterfall looks amazing.
and the county lines like right there, the highway and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, ugh, yeah. I don't know. Midwest, I like it for what it is. Back to what you're saying about lighting, though, it's like, midsummer for us here in the Midwest, it's harsh, like you were saying, but
Yeah.
the lighting the rest of the year is pretty good quality, especially the shorter days, like in winter. Like something about that light is just really special.
And even spring has some great lighting.
Yeah, it could just you just gotta look for it. I mean, you just gotta know when the right time is. Come up here in August, I feel like it's gonna be a lot better for sunrises. So I'm really
Yeah.
looking forward to that at least. But
I'm,
yeah,
yeah, I'm working on getting up for sunrises and sunsets, but it's really hard for me.
Yeah, I've got up for a sunrise like one time, but don't get me
One?
wrong, it was totally worth it.
I do a
I
lot
mean,
of
Yeah.
it was
sunsets,
beautiful,
but
but
Me
I do a
too.
lot of
Me too.
sunsets too, but I can never get myself to get up early enough for sunrise,
I'll stay up
especially this time
late
of
as
the
long.
year.
I really don't want to bike in the dark, so it's a bit of a
Yeah.
problem I got to get around. But
I can see why,
especially with the muggers,
Yeah, you don't know why you can catch our last
Pedal
episode.
faster.
Yeah.
No, I get that. I used to bike at night a lot because I'd stay out super late just as, get that last bit of light,
Yeah,
no matter how
I
little
bike
it
at night
is.
a lot, but not for photography reasons. Hanging out with friends and stuff. But
Oh, that's
carrying
fair.
all that camera gear and stuff, it can get pretty
Yeah.
tiring for me at least.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, getting up early though is something like when I did my on location video series, most of those were in the morning. So
Mhm.
like I'd get up super early before dark. But I just been so lazy about it lately.
Yeah.
You're just like I'll go in the evening, because the lighting's better, but you just got to get up and do it.
Yep.
It's worth it.
Oh yeah, as
losing
soon,
an
as soon as
hour
I
or
get
two
my
of sleep.
license, I'll be doing that a lot, or at least I'm
Yeah.
telling myself that. So
Yeah, you will.
Yeah.
It makes things faster, of course.
Uh-huh.
So it's a lot better,
Yeah.
better off that way. All right.
So
do
I think.
you want? Go ahead.
Sorry. So
Are you
I
going to
think
say
we
what I'm
wanna-
going to say?
I feel like I am.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So we want to end this podcast off with kind of talking about what we got going on in our careers at the moment. So I'm gonna go ahead and start with Ryan, and we're gonna go in our typical order. So
we
Actually-
always start with Ryan.
what all do you have going on?
Put me on the spot. Yeah, well, it's actually funny because I actually have something great that happened earlier today. So something to talk about. But so the guest exhibit I'm in at Dayton, Ohio Gallery. It's called the Artery. It's on Front Street. It's like this big studio building that has like 26 something artists. They have different studios, all different mediums. Photography is of course present there with some of them. But I got this text from this lady that actually got me into that guest exhibit earlier today, and she was like, "Hey, did you check your emails? So and so should have sent you a message on it." I'm kind of like, "What are you talking about?" I'm sorry, I'm like confused. And she's like, "Oh, check your email and all that." And I was like, "Okay." So I checked it, and I just like saw it, and it was like, "Hello, this is the guest exhibit. This is like the leader of that director or whatever." And she's like, "Hello, we would like to have you as a member ongoing." And I was just like, "What?"
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I was like, "Shoot." So.
Nice.
Yeah, so I'm probably more than likely going to say yes. I haven't responded yet, but
So like
it's
your art is always there.
yeah, and it's cool because that place runs it kind of like on a monthly basis, so you pay your dues monthly. It's like $35 or so, but yeah, you can exhibit your work, of course, on a wall space. I don't know where I'd be yet in there, but yeah, and it's just hang up your work. It's all for sale.
Awesome.
You get promotion,
Congratulations.
networking. Yeah, so that's kind of like a cool thing. Like I said, it's kind of premature because I haven't really accepted it, but I'm definitely going to be probably saying yes because this will be my second kind of ongoing gallery cooperative that would be a part of. So very excited about that
Cool.
opportunity there. So what do you guys got? Anything?
So for me, not too much. This is something I'm hoping to start doing. I got invited to apply, not like actually invited, but invited to apply for this like environmental justice internship. It's a photo video project, so it's a paid
Ooh.
internship. So I'm pretty excited about that, and I'm pretty sure
Wow.
I'm kind of confident I'm getting in. Not 100% confident, but I don't really know how many kids are interested in that stuff like me. So hopefully I'll get into that, and I just applied for that a couple days ago. So excited for that. I started
Sounds
doing,
perfect for you.
Yeah, thank you.
It does. You'll do
let's see,
fine.
what else? Some of my portrait work's picking up a bit. I did a job last weekend. It was for a family member, but she still paid me, so I'm gonna count it as a job. And couple other people are starting to hit me up for portraits, so I'm pretty excited about that. That's pretty
good.
much it for me.
Are you doing location portraiture as well? Like right
Yeah,
on?
mostly location portraiture.
Like outside at least?
I'm gonna go down to
You
the
got-
park with a couple people, get some nice
That's
portraits.
cool. That's cool. We have to have an episode about that, I think,
Mm.
because it's technically outdoor photography, if you ask
Especially
me.
Yeah.
especially during coronavirus, I don't really want to bring too many people into my house right now.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
Mm.
Well, it's cool, man. Congrats. I hope you get that internship
Thank
because that's like so when you just listing off all the things with it.
Yep.
I'm like in filmmaking. I was like, that's like perfect. It's like perfect for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Mhm.
So hopefully you get it.
Thank you.
What do you got, Rylan? Oh, no problem.
So I don't really have a lot going on in the moment either. But I have been doing some more portrait work recently, and I recently just announced my senior portrait packaging and stuff. So hopefully I'll have some clients in for that soon. Last weekend I did family portraits, which was turned out really good, and I enjoyed that. That was the lady that I told you all about that was from a local news station.
Mhm.
So that was really exciting for me because like I'd never been out there like that. So that was pretty cool. And then I recently did some more work with a realtor, which
Oh,
is always
awesome.
fun. I do videography and photography both for that, which obviously videography isn't my speciality, we'll say, but that did kind of happen and that worked, and I really enjoy doing that.
Awesome.
You all, I don't know if you all would ever be willing to give anything like that a shot, but
I'd love
Some
to. I don't know.
Video work.
I don't know how I get really keyed into that real estate kind of stuff, but I'd love to do it.
yeah, I
Yeah.
mean,
I'd love to get a shot.
just email some realtors around you. Or,
Yeah.
I mean, if you know a realtor, that's really the best way to do it. Just kind of ask them if they'd be interested in having you to
Mhm.
take photos
Cool.
or anything.
Got to like cold call them and email blast.
Yep.
Whole bunch of them.
My last thing that I done, it's not really anything big. I am trying to partner with BBC Wildlife Magazine. Now
Whoa.
that's a long shot,
Lofty goals.
but it's somewhat in the works, and hopefully it'll work out.
So
It
like,
probably won't.
What's like the
did,
context?
like
you
by
just
that
like
do you
pitch.
mean they ignored all your messages or?
Yeah, like what'd you do?
No, I just applied. They wanted me to send in like 10 best photos or whatever, and it's all got to be under like 1 MB, which drives me crazy
Oh my
because
gosh.
obviously photos are above that. And then they're like, if we want to work with you, we'll like contact you and la da 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 da, and you can send us a bigger file. But I did get a reply back, which was pretty good.
Oh, wow.
He said that he was out of the office at the moment because it's not like I'm emailing it directly to their main email or whatever. It's like a certain person that works in there, and he said that he was out of the
Yeah.
office right now and that I would receive a reply from him once he was back in.
Cool.
So,
Did they go to you or did you go to them? Sorry for
I
asking
went to them. They
that. Okay.
they didn't come to me.
I would count that as
wish.
spam if that was in my email.
Isn't BBC like British based, right?
Yeah, British
so.
Broadcasting
Company.
whatever
I think-
channel
Yeah.
company. Yeah.
I
com-
don't know which one, but
I have no idea.
I hope you can meet
I just
David
don't
Attenborough.
want
That'd be
magazine.
cool.
I don't know why. I really just want to get in some kind of magazine and have one of my photos published for the first time because that's never really happened before.
yeah.
Well, it looks cool. You got like the tear sheet from like the article or the cover. That'd
Yeah,
be
that'd
so
be
cool.
awesome.
Yeah, I've been in some local newspapers, and I keep thinking of things after the fact. But one more thing for
No
me, if
problem.
you guys,
Open
Yeah.
discussion's great. It's
yeah. But just about a week ago, I totally got this cold call from a local like Gazette, local newspaper, and there was this lady that she kind of like pursues arts, like anything in the culture and the arts. And she was like, "Hey, I saw your work at the guest exhibit in kind of near town." And she was like, "I want to do like a little phone interview." And I was like, "Okay." So we like set that up later in the same day even, and it was like this 30-minute phone interview. And she like did her homework and everything. She was like, "So I saw in your bio you said you're really concentrate on this," and she was like listing out like in quotes like things I said, and I was like, "Dang!" It was like she was like ready for it. It was really fun actually. I mean, just talking about your work,
Awesome.
it's not too hard. But so I think she said it's going to be in print and on web, and she's just going to be like promoting my work and all. So yeah, I was like really surprised. I was like really excited about that. So
one more thing I thought of as well. I'd say about 2 or 3 months ago, I did my favorite photographers on Instagram. This is separate from the underrated video I did, which includes these two people right here.
Yeah. Hey.
Yeah. So one of the featured people was Mark Denny, and somehow he found my video and commented on it. It was
Oh, wow.
actually the real Mark Denny.
Wow.
Yeah, And he said, like,
Wow,
great
verified.
video, Henry. Hoping to see more great content from you in the future or something.
Wow.
So that
Wow.
I like flipped out.
Dude.
I have no idea how
Oh.
he found me because that video only has like 15 views. So he must have been going deep
did
in
you-
the search menus or something. I don't know.
Did you like at him or something?
No,
Or maybe it's
no.
like the keyword tags.
Wow.
That's
Yeah, maybe it's the
weird.
tags. I don't know.
The captions or whatever.
He might have like searched his own name or something,
Uh-huh.
and then
Or maybe I do comment on maybe some of his videos sometimes, so maybe he found me through there. But that was really cool. I love interacting with those big photographers. Like, they're more humbled than other celebrities. Like, they'll talk to you.
they are. They're more down to earth. I
I've
feel
mentioned
like.
this before, but Nick Page has talked to me before.
I've talked to Ben Horn.
Yeah, he's awesome. So.
Chelsea Northrup.
Yeah.
Oh.
You and the Northwest,
I'm
man.
not gonna fanboy.
Are you like the third child? I don't know
Two.
how many children they have, but are you
I
like
don't know.
one of their children or
I'm-
something?
I'm one of the
Secretly?
children. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't tell anyone.
Adopters.
that sounds really creepy. If you all see this, I swear I'm not crazy.
They'll never talk to you again.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, yeah. Here I am gushing about Thomas Heat and all that. Yeah. That's cool though, man. That's cool that you commented. Yeah. You should ask him, be like, hey, how'd you find me?
Or I should
They'll
ask
find
if
this
he wanted
video.
to
Be
be
on the
this show.
podcast.
I mean,
Yeah, do
There
it.
you go. Is he? I'm sorry, I'm not too familiar with him. Is he like a big name, or does he have a lot of subscribers?
He has, like, he's a landscape only focused. He has like 150K or something.
Oh wow.
And he does like really helpful composition editing kind of videos.
I've seen
Okay.
him before. He's got some pretty good
He pretty
content.
much taught me how to focus stack, so I really like his content.
We'll have to link him down below, and hopefully you'll comment on this.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty neat. You never know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Be like, hey, we're
I'm
talking about
Mark.
you again. Honestly. Okay, so I think that pretty much wrap it up, guys. What do you think?
I think that it was our best episode yet, besides all the cuts that Henry has made that none of you all have
Yes.
seen or
There were a little bit, there's some errors, but you guys won't see them.
Yep.
So
He does his computer magic and makes everything all look pretty.
I
and
feel like we
us-
should just
all
have a
look
round
nice.
of applause for Henry. Go, Henry.
okay.
Yeah, actually,
you're
yeah.
at home,
We'll-
clap
we'll-
along.
We'll give our thanks because we mentioned in the first episode. It's
Yeah.
all him. So and he
Maybe
makes
it's
this.
not all
He's
me, but okay.
Henry is the glue that keeps us together. So we
Yeah.
appreciate all you
Oh,
do.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks. All right, guys. This has been the All Outdoors Photography Podcast. I hope you enjoyed the show. Leave a comment down below. All the things. Share, like. We're on Instagram. You can watch the video version on YouTube.
Yes.
We're on. What are we on?
Anchor.
Spotify. Yeah, we're on
Apple
Anchor
Podcast
FM.
is coming soon. It takes a while to get on
Yes.
there,
Yep.
but it should be on at least in the next month sometime. So before September, I can guarantee you it'll be on Apple Podcasts. So
Yep, we're gonna have everything.
Promise.
World domination.
Well,
That's what we're going for.
we see you guys. This is Ryan.
well, thank you guys for watching the podcast today.
Watching and listening, and
Yeah,
hope you have a
we
great
appreciate
day.
it.
And we hope to see you in the next episode.
Bye.
Bye.
Alrighty, everyone, that's going to conclude today's episode of the All Outdoors Photography Podcast. I hope you enjoyed the show, and I just wanted to mention that you can watch the video version on our YouTube channel if you want to subscribe down below. We're also available in audio form on Spotify, Anchor FM, and Google Podcasts, Breaker, Pocket Cast, Radio Public, all those various sorts of channels and services, and your favorite podcast player of choice. And you can also follow us on Instagram as well. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day, and look forward to seeing you in the next episode.